Thanks a lot, Thomas, for joining us today at FundForum. You were also on a very interesting panel with most of these big CEOs in Europe, and I think that we all say that we are facing critical time, political uncertainties that brings a lot of constraints on our business and our industry. Where do you see, what's your perspective here on the evolution of the sector?
I mean, you're right. I think the market environment at the moment is very challenging. We see a lot of uncertainty within our client base. The political framework is very difficult. It's going to continue to be difficult, and then we have regulation, adding another dimension to the complexity. And doing business in this environment is not easy. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. This also offers opportunities, and I mean, we're using this time to look very much in detail into our own business model, into the processes we have, in the product offering we have, the way we cover clients. And by doing this, we will identify areas where we can grow.
Do you share this need for diversification in terms of asset classes? And if I remember, there was a poll where what would be your preferred asset class, and emerging markets, equities and bonds came on the top of the list. Do you see that as well when you talk to your investor space?
Yeah, this is also when you look into the flows in the market. I mean, and that's something we are doing. You can easily find out where clients currently putting priority on. But this is changing over time. So I mean, just betting on one asset class is a pretty risky strategy. Therefore, you have to have a good balance of products, and you have to adjust that on a regular basis. So it has to be an ongoing process. It's not like you make an assessment today and then the outcome is valid for the next 5 years. You have to permanently look into that and readjust your offering.
Yeah, so that's very challenging. And do you get a good feedback for investors, or how do you track or try to identify new products needs? Or
we have, as I said, we have I would say a good dialogue with our clients.
Okay.
I myself have probably met 100 clients in the last 12 months, so there you get a relatively good picture. We know from our dialogue, we are analyzing also what clients have on their recommended list, what sort of products from competitors are successful. So we're looking also at market data. There is some research available. Then we take that into consideration, match it with our strengths and our own CIO views. What do we believe will be of interest in the coming 12 months, and that then will lead into the whole product strategy development.
You mentioned something very interesting about regulation, and what does it bring to you in more constraints? How do you manage that?
Well, regulation is something we have to take very, very seriously. The question is whether it's probably going a little bit over the top, but that's normal in a situation like that. I categorize the measures being proposed or implemented by regulation into two categories. One is really, us complying with some reporting requirements, information requirements that is administrative. So we have to comply with that. That costs us money. We have to adjust our processes. We have to train people. And the second is probably the more challenging, those which potentially have an impact on our business model going forward. So when you think about the potential abolishment of retrocessions, that could have an impact the way we deal with our distribution partners.
Okay. For the moment, how would you describe your distributions between direct and indirect, or?
If you mean, mostly we go through distribution partners.
Okay.
And we have a good balance between internal, so Deutsche Bank, and third party. Third party is already bigger than internal, so we are more dependent on third party distribution than on proprietary distribution. We have analyzed all the markets in Europe and have identified growth potential in every market, have set ourselves a target, what we want to achieve in the next few years. And we are now implementing that by getting closer to our most important distribution partners, understanding how they decide. They are more concentrating their decision-making process. We are trying to mirror that approach, try to understand what they want, have a close dialogue, and by that we hope to gain some market share from these markets.
Great. So as you can see, despite challenging time, there's still a lot of energies and new opportunities to catch up. Thanks again, Thomas.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks
you.
a lot.